particular?
Miley. Like I hear, like when I'm listening to people, like I listen to this podcast. They always talk about like what's the longest period in your life where you didn't have a job? Like,
Never.
or did you just always go from one job to the
Yeah.
next job?
He never clocked a day on gun. Never, worked since he was 9.
Well, I worked until I went into the Air Force. Then I worked some more, but in a different way. Then I got out, and then I worked in Bendix.
He worked, he worked at Tier 5 first
Tier
in
5.
Bendix. But you know what he did? He worked the regular 40 hours or more. And he went to college 9 years nights, plus working. And we had a baby, and not your father, but Scott. So then I worked nights because we wanted to buy a house and we had no money. So my mother watched the baby, and I worked from 4 to 12 while he was working. While he was in school at night, so he came home. But he'd wake up for me in school because otherwise we'd never see each other. You know what I mean? So he'd come in and be sleeping on the couch. We had one bathroom for all these people. So he's.
Who was living?
My mother, father was downstairs, and we upstairs. My sister too. So what it was, if he didn't stay up to see me, he'd stay up and have a cup of coffee and go to bed, and then he'd go and I'd be with the baby all day. Then I'd work nights. He did that for 6 months. So we had a down payment on the house. And then we moved on, but he still went 9 years nights. You know? He was the only one. He went with 5 guys, and he was the only one that made it because all the others, their wives couldn't stand it because they were never home and they weren't doing this and they weren't doing that. And they wouldn't cooperate, you know. So he was the only one that made it because I was such a But
Is that why?
You know, because we never went anywhere because he was always home studying on the weekend, you know, because he worked all weekend. So we never went anywhere. We went to the library, right? Not even to the park.
I had to do drafting, and
that was
when
one thing I always did graduate because they couldn't stand
that was when they had the computers were all cards, and they would tell us that we had to do this project. And that was terrible.
And he just couldn't. He just, you know, to make everything perfect, be graph. You know, if you're not that tight, you know, you just couldn't do it. He almost failed because of that. It was terrible. Everything else, he was super.
I mean, funk.
I said you took that course and you were always going for extra help, or you don't. You know, you almost that you hated that course.
Drafting.
That's what I mean, drafting.
But that was.
You're not good at that.
You know.
And my brother, well, my sister's husband, that's his career. He can do anything like that. He paints, he does it. And he was just the opposite.
Analog to digital. That was a big step in technology. Analog to digital. Big step.
I mean,
that changed everything.
What the hell they were doing anymore. An engineer could, by changing tubes in people's TV, they were considered engineer. So I was doing that before I ever got my degree, and it was funny. I taught mathematics to guys in my group because they needed it to get ahead, and so algebra and calculus.
I hated that, but he
You had like a teaching job?
Yeah, he did it. You know,
Okay, I'm coming. Thank you.
He did everything.
Is that recording?
Yeah.
Not the whole time, is it?
What? I don't think so.
Oh.
I mean,
That's good.
it's a nice little position.
Yeah.
Who's
It's
that?
just
Who's that interrupting our discussion?
Max, you interrupted the scene.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're doing a scene.
This is a scene.
Do we allow the
Actually, what's cool
children
about
to talk
Tommy is
while
when he
we
does a
talk?
thing, sometimes he'll say scene, and then he does it, and then he says scene at the end.
Marker.
Remember when you did that in graduation dinner?
Oh yeah.
You gave a speech, and then at the end you said scene.
Lorraine's husband also took the Kitty Cruise. Kitty Cruise is the short-term,
My
1 to 2
husband?
years.
I'd like to meet.
You?
I'd like to meet her husband.
You
Who,
said,
Blake?
no, he seemed
Oh.
my sister.
I was talking
You
about
forgot the
himself.
word sister. Lorraine's sister.
How long were you in?
They wanted to make me a
4
lieutenant.
years.
I was a radar specialist, and shore ran was a big thing at that time, and the Korean War was still going on. And they said, you can go to Korea with your background in electronics and you'll be able to communicate and so forth. And anyway, I said, I'm not going to Korea. I'm here. I said, I want to fly. I don't want to be in Korea. So, I said, what are you talking about? We didn't guarantee that you would fly. You know, I
Fine
want.
print. I was fine print.
Did you say that he was in for 4 years or 40 years?
Oh, 4 years.
Okay. I
4
was,
years. No, he went in at 18 and he got out at 22. And in between, we had your Uncle Scott. He was.
I wanted to stay, but
Scott was born while you were in Korea. I didn't realize that.
No. I was pregnant and he got home and
I
2
came
months
home
later,
and
baby, yeah.
she was pregnant. I said,
so we really had
How did
no
that
time
happen?
alone as a married
Miracle.
couple. We just bam, had the baby, had all. I didn't know how to cook. I didn't know how to do anything. I think nobody. I was so young. None of my friends had a baby. I was never around the baby. I cooked. Then he went to work, and then he went to college nights. And he was never around.
begging. In high school,
Really?
you were in every what?
every play. Every play.
He had the lead in 2 years in a row.
I was Mr. Big.
He was.
And they sent me, because I was a communicator, they said I could talk. And they had a radio show at that time down in Newark,
It was a debating club.
debating club.
They didn't have TV, so they did it on the radio.
And I did big time well
Yeah,
there.
got picked.
And so make that story short. Principal of the high school, okay, said, okay, you're an exceptional guy, so we're gonna have to keep you, protected, because the other problem that we had was the World War II veterans were coming home and going into the schools.
They were in the high school with us.
Oh,
Because
wow.
they didn't graduate, so you'd be in a class, and you're the guy, 30 years old or whatever,
Wow.
with us. It was really
Beards
crazy. It was
and-
a very unusual time.
They were veterans. That's
And they
fun.
wanted to smoke.
Yeah.
They wanted to smoke cigars.
Because you didn't have to be a graduate of high school in order to go into the service back then. So then it came out.
Came and everyone wanted to finish their high school
Yeah.
year.
And there was no computer, so they couldn't do it on there.
It was a wacky time.
But you know what? Getting back to college, so he got caught up in all these things. Then he'd have a course, then they would drop it, and they wouldn't have it. He graduated with 169 credits, and he only needed 128. Was it
How many years were you in college?
9?
Wow.
I went to the dean and I said, "Listen," I says, "I'm getting old." It's when I thought I was getting old, and I says, I can't keep going nights like this, you know. And he said, okay. He said, I'll tell you what. He says, we're going to take it down to 2 courses. History, both of them. One was about the United States. The other was what? Music or
Art
art,
appreciation.
art appreciation, and
The state of New Jersey you had to learn about.
yeah. But that's when I learned about New Jersey.
Yeah, that was a college course.
That was a college course, but I mean, it was.
But it was good because he learned everything, all about there's so many different kind of Indians in New Jersey.
It was a college course on the state of New Jersey.
Yeah, it would have been kind
Hey, I wanted to hear the story about your hole-in-one because I remember you had a hole-in-one one
I
time.
don't think he, well, he does remember.
Yeah, he does. I remember.
Yeah.
I could set the scene. It was the state.
I
Not the
had-
state.
I-
It was the course like
West Shore.
championship
Yeah.
was going on, right? When you had that hole-in-one, wasn't it some kind of tournament that you were playing in?
Actually, I think
Yeah,
I had a total of 3 holes, but the one that I talked about most was the first one. Was we went to? Don't forget, I was living in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And they said we're going to go play in Pennsylvania. I said, Pennsylvania. I said, that's a long way. So anyway, I said okay, because they said well we're going to have a meet, you know, cookout and all that. Waldo. So it was like on the second hole, and what it was like like this situation here, where you were hit, okay, and you had to hit over to that landing, you know, like the
Yeah, there was a valley in between.
valley in between,
That's all. No more.
and I wasn't really trying too hard, but I just whacked it and went. And I said, that'll put me close enough. And then when we got there, because we had to go down the valley and up to the
Yeah, that was
thing,
before
that-
carts used to
It
walk.
was
those
in the
courses.
hole. And then I had one in West Shore.
Yeah, that was the one I always remember.
Picked the wrong day though.
Yeah,
You said it was a 3-iron and it rolled up the hole.
right.
You hit it like low and it went up the ground and went up the hill and then onto the green and kept rolling
Yeah,
and kept rolling right towards the flag and then went in, right?
right. You
And
know,
it was in a tournament though. It was the club
Right.
championship or
right,
something.
yeah.
So everybody in the clubhouse was aware of what happened.
Yeah,
That's the
why?
best
Tell him
part.
why. No.
You know, Charlie Kelly, which is
Richie Kelly's
Richie
son.
Kelly's son.
Yeah.
I took him out because he came in flying in or something. Anyway, make a long story short, we were playing, okay, and I got into this sand,
No more. Sorry. No more.
Deal.
Sorry.
you know, one of those sand
traps.
pits,
Yeah.
sand traps, and he says, "Oh," he says, "I got you now." You know, he says, "I got you now," and I just swung hard because there was, you know, the sand was like wet. Anyway, I hit it up and it went this far from the hole. He says, "Can you do that again?" I said, "I only had to do it once." Huh?
Frank Singo
Yeah, was it?
and Joe Wassel.
Yeah.
Well,
that
my
was
two
the
uncles. Yeah, my two uncles.
two uncles, and
They all golfed, yeah.
we all golfed, and they kept saying, you know, you can come out with us. We'll show you how to play this game. Oh, okay.
Well, they always liked you. They, for some reason, didn't like my sister's husband, but they liked him. I don't know why.
That was another job.
It wasn't
I
partially based
I
on
was
a lot of truth.
making
Glamored up a little bit.
tablecloths. I was making tablecloths. And Bobchi, her
Bobchi was making
Bob-
tablecloths for
her
you working in.
grandmother was one of the sewers, you know. And
You didn't know at first.
no, I
She
didn't
was
know.
my grandma. He got a job working in a place. My grandmother who lived right next door. She didn't know I was dating him, and he didn't know she was my grandmother. And they fell in love with each other.
No, she was always bringing candy.
She
Yeah.
always-
I s-
He was very skinny. She wanted to fatten him up. Oh, she found out somehow. They found out that he was dating me. So then she started bringing him. And he was sending candy through her to me. So
No.
every day, every other day, she'd come home with like a Fifth Avenue or a Hershey bar. He was plying me with bonbons, poetry, and flowers. You know, like a nickel candy bar. She'd always come. He said, "Boy, chick." She didn't talk too good English. Boy, chick brings you. You know, want you to have this. God, it was funny. She was something. I mean, she loved him twice as much because she liked him, and when she found out that he was dating me, she was so happy.
That's
Oh, she was a character. Very loving lady.
She was the boss, though. She was the boss.
You cannot believe
We
it.
used
It
to
was a
play
nice
football.
world.
And we didn't have a football.
We
use
you
the
just
machete.
use knives.
No.
We had a newspaper rolled up
Uh,
and strapped, okay, and we would throw that around all for hours.
Yeah, you know, you
For
made
hours.
fun out of nothing.
really big.
No, it's good.
Then of
But you had
course we
nothing.
graduated. You know, we got sophisticated. We started playing other games like we had this big park. It wasn't a park, but it was
Big empty
a
field.
big empty field.
They call it Century Field. Everybody went down to Century Field.
And we played all kinds of games in that: softball, hardball, and they had a black team, all black, and we had a white team.
And nobody fought.
No
Nothing.
arguments, no nothing. Everybody went down to the park to see. You know,
It
they
was
had nothing else
such a
to do
great
at night,
world.
so they would go down, sit, and watch the players. We used to go down to the river, you know, and we didn't know it was polluted.
When he comes back, you got to tell him about the river and your shoe.
Yeah.
Wait till Tommy comes back.
What happened was that when I was really young, 6 or 7, and we only got one pair of shoes a year, and anyway, it was Tom McCann. Tom McCann was the shoe store. So once a year, we would take a ride to Passaic. We were in Garfield. We went to ride to Passaic.
Three little boys. So,
We were in various
You heard the
ages.
story before?
Huh?
You heard the story before?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
And so anyway, the story was that we came home. We went, got the shoes, came home, Well, at that time we lived right on across the street from the river. So
Margie's Hawkeye.
and on the
I hit it
On
on the
the
first try. I'm
river.
not going to do it again.
was
100%
this
happens.
It may never happen again, right?
sewer deposit
Okay.
So,
where water
Never get higher.
go through it.
mhm.
It's like
Alright,
a
Gracie, you
tunnel,
want to go?
Like a big pipe type
cement
thing, yeah.
tunnel,
Go faster, go faster.
and
She okay to go outside.
go on top.
Yeah,
And
Gracie's next.
I used to swim in the river, which was polluted. We didn't know that. Anyway, to make a long story short, okay,
She likes to go.
we
all
get
the time.
there, and
She feels more secure on the
this is only like an hour or something after flying the ship, okay? I go running down to that sewer pipe, okay? And I had my new shoes on, and there was a can on the thing, and I wanted to kick it, so couldn't just leave that can there. So I took a running jump and I ran, kicked that can. Well, when I kicked the can, my new shoe came off my foot and into the water. And the water was deep. And now I'm in deep yogurt, okay, because I lost this shoe, which is my yearly shoe. And so I didn't say anything to anybody. I just went home and put on my old shoes, the shoes I had before. But, and there was, nobody said anything. But then the next morning, we all woke up and who took my shoe? So my father had a strap about that was his correction. Yeah, walk 3 times with that, and you know what's going on. So he said, "What's the problem?" I said, "Can't find my shoe." And then we were 3 brothers. I don't know. Nobody knows nothing, And he says, "You better tell me, because I'm gonna whop you off if you don't tell me who took that shoe." So nobody talked. So he got up. First one he hit was my older brother, Charlie. He hit him, and then he just whacked me once or twice, no problem. But Charlie took a beating, and then third, Richie was my youngest brother, and he was in terror that he was going to get the whipping, But they said, "Okay," he said, "then I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back. You better think about it because I'm going to get really mad now." And we said, "Let's get out of town." So we went in the attic to hide. We hid in the attic, and that's so. Until my father went off to work, which was so. That was the end of that day. Pretty much the next day it was all hidden, and by that time we just made do with the shoes, the old shoes. Just had to
progress with
use some more.
What was it?
We used to put cardboard in the shoes. Okay, so when the holes were in the shoes, when the water came into them, okay, still have a cover. And that's the way it went until everybody forgot about it. Because it was back to normal. Everybody had shoes on. Everything was all, you know, when you, as you graduated from one class to the next, okay, you could go from like kindergarten to the fourth grade, you know, and then you go to another grades and so forth. Well, all that was fixed, you know. Everybody had to have the same. And
There's a plug that you can plug in mixes.
my parents decided that all we needed was knickers. We didn't need
Long pants.
long pants.
They came in style, yeah. They couldn't wear long pants.
That's
They
when
cost
I knew
money.
we were poor. That's the first time I knew we were really poor.
Because all the kids used to laugh at them because they all had long pants and they wore these Snickers, and then they'd get hand-me-downs and none would call home. She'd call him in the office and he'd get pants, but it'd be the kid, you know, down in the next class and say, hey, he's wearing my pants. You know, it was terrible, really. But
We lived through
you
it.
live through it, but it's not fun.
But life. Anyway, those were, as strange as it seems, okay, they were interesting times. Interesting times.
They won't know
Well,
how.
the robots are going to take over.
Robots.
No, I mean, it's a fact.
It's scary.
When I was in the fourth grade, the nuns told me, you know, that there's going to come a time when mechanical devices are going to populate the world. And they didn't know robots, but they had it in their mind that was the kind of thing that was going to happen. They've had all kinds of catastrophes there, but
Chernobyl, you mean? Yeah.
not Chernobyl. Chernobyl was
The tidal wave they had a couple years ago.
Like the
Huh?
tsunami.
The tidal wave they had a couple
Yeah, the
years ago.
tsunami, right?
Tsunami, yeah.
Yes, tsunami.
And they're still
You're
bad,
right,
you know?
Tommy.
It's
You're
still
right.
got
I
the
put that
effects.
in the
He has his friends
You
in
were right once.
Japan to
Yes.
email him, you know.
I knew I could do it if I really applied myself.
Well, I was in Europe when that happened, and the radiation from Chernobyl was all over the northern part of Europe, and so much so that in the Scandinavian countries, the meat was
All the fallout, the meat was all tainted. And he was eating some of it because nobody really knew.
Yeah.
And because we stayed in a thatched hut just like the natives, it was unbelievable. And then he had to go back to the central thing.
She
He's
was
walking-
riding around with the Rangers.
He took a shortcut. He didn't go on the path. He went through these trees. Wow, tell him.
Yeah, okay.
He got hooked.
Whoa, really?
And he couldn't
By
move.
a tree?
Yes.
By a
'cause
tree.
By
So it was
this,
blowing in the wind.
I'm telling you, if it comes down and that's all the,
You just
Drop,
brush
you know.
by, and
it
bends.
just moves and it just hooked you. It's like a
Wow.
thorn. It
That's
comes
like
in
something
shape
from a
like that.
sci-fi movie.
It was, and he was standing there. He always liked to get there early. So there was nobody there because he didn't go on the path. And he couldn't move because it ripped his whole mouth up.
Oh, wow.
So he's standing there with his briefcase. He couldn't bend down. He couldn't do up. Finally, somebody came along, but it was crazy. And
Wow.
nobody warned us about this, you know.
Huh?
What's your favorite place you ever visited?
You know,
I've been in so
They're all
many.
so
How many
different.
countries do you think you've been to?
All of Europe, Australia,
I want to go to Australia.
uh,
China, Japan,
China, Japan.
Taiwan, Korea.
Have you hit all the continents?
Pretty much.
You've been out, well.
The one I
He's
didn't
been
get to was the
Greenland,
Arctic. I
Norway,
was
yeah.
just this close to going down there, and because I wanted to go to South America. And when I was down in South America, we were going to take a ride down to the Arctic, and it didn't happen.
You like Iceland, Greenland, you like those.
been
And
to
then
all of those.
all of South America, really,
See, I used to lecture a lot.
around the world. Yeah, very smart man.
In China, what happened is that we would have a meeting, okay, Americans or American
Host, yeah.
sponsored. So we would have a meeting, and everybody would come in from. They have to be registered as their expert in the field that we're talking about. So they would sit there, and so what happened is we went to China, and they had built a V, just like a football stadium, steps down. Instead of our regular crew, which was maybe 25, 30 people, all these people, we walked in and okay, we go to start the meeting, and the mayor and whatever town leaders and such came to see what we were doing. Okay, so then I had to be introduced to them. There's all these protocols. Anyway, to make a long story short, we talked to them. Okay, and then we had our meeting, and boom, some big muckety muck from the government shows up, and the Chinese go crazy. They're very sensitive to all this protocol.
Respect.
And they said, we started talking, and I decided to make a little run at them, okay? Because I had been in China before, and I knew about Tiananmen Square, and I knew about, I was in all around Tiananmen Square. So I wanted to make it clear, okay, I didn't appreciate them, you remember the picture of the young man trying to stop the tank with his hands. Because
with the suitcase.
Yeah. So I started to talk to him, and I went on a rampage about, there was a wall in Europe, okay, and there was a wall in China, and I said, walls don't amount to much. That in fact, I recommended that they take down their walls. Walls meaning trade walls.
Yeah.
And that we come together better because, they represent a large portion of the world. China. So I went rambling on. Anyway, the next day it was in the paper. Whole thing.
Wow.
About you.
Everything. Yeah, and the
Some American
and then
trying to tell us what to do.
and then the no, I didn't even know it was being recorded.
Wow.
And so
How about sitting at the table and standing up? That stuff.
oh,
Remember that was another meeting.
Was different.
There was another meeting.
Yeah, but this one was important because the guy who they sent to talk to me was the head professor at the university.
Oh, wow. You nearby one?
So he wanted me to lecture in his school. Okay. So I said, I don't know the timing. I'm supposed to be working. And I said, okay, I'll do that. And then I went to the university and I lectured there about automation. And when I came back, okay, there was another article in the Chinese paper about Mr. Kelly who did this, that, and the other thing. And there's such craziness about this, okay, because all these things happen to you, and you just say, you don't start off trying to do it, okay? It's all boom, 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 and to you, and then you have to make the best you can. In fact, not more than 6 months later, okay, I was in Chile and working in Chile, and they had a big hall, and they were bringing in people to talk about standards, all different kinds of standards. And so, well, the people in Chile, since I made a big rambling speech against what they were trying to sell,
Right.
I thought that would be that, and but it turns out that down in South America, further down in South America, my company guy heard about Mr. Kelly from AMP, who was in the country, and they all wanted to come and see me. And I said, I'm not taking in any more traffic,
I don't do it anymore.
No, because what happens is, you could be talking forever. That's the way these people are. They just, get into this stuff. But anyway, that was the two times that's happened. I was in the papers in Chile, and I was in the papers in China, and I was mentioned in South Africa. In South Africa, I won the medal, the gold medal for standards.
Also, I remember the one that the guy, you weren't supposed to speak. You were in front of all these students, and the guy got sick, and then they asked you to fill in. Don't you remember that one? And then you went out there, and it was like 10 minutes before the guy was supposed to speak, and he filled in like he didn't have no speech or nothing, but he's very good just like that. So you remember, you just put a few words on the index card, and you went out there and you talked.
I did that so often.
No, but this one was memorable because he just went on and whatever, and he's very good just like that. So, and at the end of it, they were all applauded and all that, and they said, "May we have a copy of your speech to print it in the paper?"
That's right.
That's what I said.
Yeah, that one.
Because he had it written down, he didn't have nothing. That's what I can't remember. They couldn't believe that he gave this, like he had like 5-10 minutes to speak in front of 1,000 students, and then he wanted to print it. They thought it was so great, and he didn't even have anything written down.
No paper.
Was it
There was
memorized?
nothing to
No,
print
he
because
just,
I didn't
was
have
no,
just
that's the way
improvised?
he taught.
Wow.
When he's in, if you ever saw him when he was, great in front, he could get up and he'd have the whole place hypnotized.